Hello.
Having been abandoned, the keepers now have a baby bird to hand rear. Its fluffy down will keep it warm until its adult feathers grow through in 2 weeks' time. In Monsoon Forest, 20-year-old Asian Fairy-Bluebird Terang has just woken up.
Fairy-Bluebirds are quite a sassy bird from Southeast Asia.
Terang's partner is 9-year-old Bulu. Fairy-Bluebirds mate for life, and this loyal couple have been together for 3 years.
They are a really beautiful species. The males in particular are stunning with these bright, bright blue feathers and black markings, so really striking to look at. The females are a little bit more muted. They have a lovely turquoisey colour and they have a lovely song as well.
Bulu and Terang would make ideal parents, but try as they might, they haven't been able to start a family.
Bulu and Terang are good together. They get on with one another, they mate, they lay eggs. They have made an attempt to hatch an egg and rear a chick 5 times last year and 2 or 3 times this year. But I think Terang, I think he's firing blanks.
We've got no doubt that they'd make really good parents. It's just we don't have the chicks to prove it.
But help could be at hand from an unlikely source, the neighbours. In the aviary next door live bluebirds Paul and Irene.
Paul and Irene have the opposite problem to what Bulu and Terang have. They really don't actually like each other very much. However, they always have fertile eggs. They will lay these fertile eggs, hatch them out, but after a few days, they don't survive. What we tend to find is because the female really doesn't like Paul, she tends to spend more of her time chasing him away from the nest and kind of forgets that she has some chicks that are very dependent on her.
So, keepers have had an idea that could make everybody happy.
The plan is to swap Bulu and Terang's eggs with Paul and Irene's.
But timing is everything.
If you do an egg swap, you have to make sure that the egg is moved at a time that the receiving birds are ready to accept it.
It's very reliant on timings. It's very reliant on making sure that those birds lay at a very similar time to our ones. It's one of those things where it's just basically potluck as to whether or not they manage to do it.
It's midday and time for the Fairy-Bluebird egg swap. Keepers plan to give Paul and Irene's fertile eggs to Bulu and Terang. After years of trying, it's their best chance of finally becoming parents.
So this morning we came in and we saw that our 2 pairs of bluebirds have actually laid, which is really fantastic. It's really uncommon for these birds to actually be synchronised enough so that we could attempt to do the swap that we are thinking of. So it's very, very fortunate that they've managed to lay within just a couple of days of one another. So the timing is absolutely perfect.
The keepers begin by removing Paul and Irene's eggs.
The logistics of moving eggs halfway across the zoo, it's always a little bit nerve-wracking.
Mammals grow their babies in them. It's a constant, controlled environment. Eggs don't have that luxury. That environment has to be maintained by the bird or by ourselves.
Good job.
The keepers need to act quickly. The embryos will die if they get too cold.
It is a calculated risk whenever you do this, and chances of success is slim.
Adoptive father-to-be Terang watches warily as the keepers approach Bulu's nest.
Yeah, she's still on there currently. Hi, Bulu, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, sweetheart. Can I borrow those? Yeah. Can I borrow those, little lady?
First, the keepers must remove Bulu's infertile eggs.
It's always a risk when you have to physically take them off the eggs. She's got a beady eye on me at the moment going, "What are you doing?" Perfect, thank you. There you go, sweetheart.
At last, Bulu has a couple of fertile eggs, but she must return to the nest to keep them warm.
She should go back relatively quickly, within the next 5–10 minutes. If it's any longer than that, we'll start getting a little bit concerned. Oh, she's just sitting on the edge there.
That didn't take very long, did it?
Yeah, it's a good job. Oh,
wait,
she's looking at them, hold on.
I hope she doesn't realise that they're not her eggs.
She's off, okay.
She was so close.
Just had a quick look and then come back. He's aware that she's off as well. He gets agitated when she's off. He's chasing off after her, like, "Get back on that nest!" Oh, it's nerve-wracking. Come on, Bulu, get back on that nest.
If Bulu abandons the nest, the keepers don't have long before they need to start to intervene and look after that egg. It could be minutes before they lose the embryo.
After 10 minutes, it becomes clear that Bulu doesn't want to sit on the new eggs.
It's important to act quickly in these situations. We decided to take those eggs straight over to our incubation officer.
The eggs need to be kept at a constant temperature. They need to be kept at certain humidity, and they need to be turned. And if there's not an adult bird doing that, it's very unlikely that the eggs hatch and the chick survives.
You said they're cold?
Yeah,
They're cold.
yeah, they feel cold to touch.
I'll just put them straight in the incubator.
Yeah, warm them up and see how they go. Oh, it'd be such a shame after all this if we don't get any fairy bluebirds at the end.
The timing was so good.
I know.
So I've just got to wait and see.
The likelihood of success is quite slim. You know, these eggs have been chilled, which is never good for any eggs. So things are looking pretty bleak.
It's been 2 weeks since the adopted eggs abandoned by Fairy-Bluebird Bulu were put in the incubator.
Unfortunately, the second egg never fully recovered from being chilled. But one of our chicks has hatched, which is absolutely fantastic news. Hello.
Having been abandoned, the keepers now have a baby bird to hand rear. Its fluffy down will keep it warm until its adult feathers grow through in 2 weeks' time.
They'll stick their heads up, they'll be shaking them around with their mouths wide open and making little squeaking noises to say, "Please feed me some food."
But being mum is a full-time job.
They need to be fed every 2 hours, and that usually starts at about 6 o'clock in the morning and finishes at about 10 at night. It's nice that I get to raise this little chick.
Keepers hope that next time this deserving couple will have more success.
Obviously, I am really upset for poor Bulu and Terang. They're always showing signs that they want to be parents, so we're really, really keen to do whatever we can to try and encourage that. We really think that they will make fantastic parents in the future. So we will definitely be trying this again, and hopefully one day we'll be able to make that come true for them.